me answering my shoe like a phone. Hold on, I can't hear you. Let me put you on sneaker.
Everyone listen out there. Just remember, or you're really jealous of someone rich in your life, they poop, and they have to wipe their butt and check to make sure there's nothing left, just like you.
This is my favorite Star Wars quote. You want to know why they call him Zero? Because there's nothing going on inside his stupid little head.
That's Rolls. Welcome to the Council of Nerds.
The Council of Nerds.
I hate everything so much.
Gotta grab my Puffs tissues.
We lost Dan at like the very beginning. Like there was no recovering Dan. You set him up, and then my butt wiping thing just sent him over the edge.
I knew what his punchline was gonna be, and it still got me.
Hey, welcome to the Council of Nerds podcast, everybody. Today I am joined by Daniel's son and Brian's son.
Konnichiwa.
We apologize for our beginnings. They are. I don't apologize at all. There's no way I'm gonna say sorry. That was funny. Our podcast is on. We're just gonna start with this. Welcome. Our podcast is on Spotify, Podbean, Anchor, YouTube, other bunch of places. Sorry, I'm still laughing.
Basically everywhere.
Yeah. We have a Discord. If you want to join our Discord, it's fun. It's not as lively as it should be, but it's also a good place to give us topic suggestions and talk about nerdy things and post nerdy memes and have fun. And if you want to join our Discord, the invite link is in our Instagram bio. So go and check that out. Today we are talking about something completely light. And then next week we're going to move on to a more I don't know, heavy topic, I guess. Like we kind of tend to do. Which you'll find out next week what that is. But this week we are talking about the most ridiculous, random, cool, whatever fan theories or theories in general that we found on all sorts of things on the internet. I have a couple. I think they're pretty funny. I found another one that was pretty funny, but I couldn't find the whole thing, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But I'll give you the teaser of it, and then you can develop it from there. Once again, I'm joined by Brian and Dan.
Hello.
Hi.
And let's get into it. Let's get into this fan theory stuff. So who wants to go first? I only have two, really. 2 or 3.
I have 2. I'll go first.
Okay, you don't have to yell.
So, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So I decided Tuesday is when these episodes come out. It's not Tuesday today. Surprise! These aren't live.
Shatter the reality. We just lost half our viewership.
No, come back. Yeah, so Tuesday is Groundhog Day. That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
It's like could
Great
be spring.
movie.
Yeah,
So a good movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the movie I'm
Put
talking
your
about.
little hand in mine. I don't know the rest of the song.
So
it's a great song. I love that
my
song.
theory about it. I've seen the movie like once, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've only seen it, and it was recent. It was like
I've seen
last
it so
year,
many times.
year and a half. It was pretty good.
I grew up on that movie.
My parents just
never heard about it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times as a kid I watched Bill Murray.
Maybe you're
jump
just
out of
living
a
it,
bell
Brian.
tower, but go ahead, Dan. Wow me with your theory.
Yeah, my theory. It's a pretty short one. It's pretty short, not too impressive. But my theory is it's kind of inspired by that new movie that's coming out. You know, the one with, is it Ryan Reynolds or the other one? The one who plays Deadpool, right? Whatever his name is. It's like where he's an NPC in a video game, right?
Oh yeah, Ryan
And
Reynolds.
then he becomes like self-aware or something. Yeah.
Old good guy.
And so I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, Groundhog Day was a video game. And Bill Murray was the player-controlled character, right? But it was right after the video game came out, and you know how there's always glitches and stuff. So the reason he kept getting sent back in time is because that was the last save point. You know, you save by sleeping in that game. And it kept getting corrupted, it kept crashing, and so no matter what happened, he kept waking up there, but he remembered it because the player would remember. Because, you know, you always do that thing, you're playing Skyrim, and you're like, let me just quick save this game and kill everyone in this village real quick.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I'm sure Bill Murray did that in the extended cut. So
that's pretty funny.
That's kind of my
because
theory. It was like a video game.
Whoever's playing that video game sucks at that video game. Like they're dying all the time.
Maybe they just get so mad about the corrupt. They're just like, this character sucks, and I punish this character over and over again.
Yeah.
True. All right, who wants to go next?
I like that.
We'll just rotate
it.
through.
I got it.
Okay.
This one's not really bizarre, but it's kind of my mind. It's a Lord of the Rings theory. It's never gone, like the books don't go into like how Frodo's parents died, so that they're dead. And so there's a theory out there. There's a theory out there that their murderer was none other than the murderer, Gollum. That because if you remember when he's tortured, the only thing he knows is Baggins Shire. That's all he knows, and we know Gollum's hell bent on getting his ring back. Right? He tracks the Fellowship through the whole first movie, and even tracks Sam and Frodo into that mountain area that they get into later. And so you can imagine that he's trying to track down Bilbo this whole time. And so the theory is that he did find some Bagginses. He found the wrong ones when they didn't know what he was talking about. In a rage, he killed Frodo's parents, which is kind of just like a crazy theory. So, that like Gollum's been involved.
Doesn't that kind of make you think that like, how come Gollum never found Bilbo in those 60 years that Bilbo had the ring? Like he knew that a Baggins had the ring for 60 years and that was like his prized possession, and he never really found Bilbo and killed him or anything for it.
Well, what's interesting is I think part of it might be that a lot of people started, like the ring started to get heat from that point. It was like the rumors were out there that there was this new ring of power that was existing again, that like had come out of the woodwork. And so I think that a lot of people, like it talks about in the books that like Aragorn and Gandalf take a lot of time trying to find Gollum. Like so I imagine that they weren't the first ones that, clearly they're not, because Saruman's forces end up finding him and torturing him for the information. But maybe he's partly in hiding and partly searching at the same time. But how's he going to get information? It's not like he can walk up to he can't go to Bree and walk into the prancing pony and be like, "Hey, keeper, how you doing there?
I'll have a pint, please."
Yeah, he's that's not his forte.
So funny. He's
Can I
just
get a room, please?
and he's not doing like his hands and feet walk. He's like walking on 2 feet, and he just
like,
struts on it.
Like took a bunch of belts and strapped a plank to his back so that he like walks.
He like gives a little salute to the barkeeper. Howdy, hey neighbor.
Throws him a coin. I'll take a room. Like,
give me your most precious room. And then the barkeeper's like,
oh, Gollum.
Welcome back, old pal.
Classic Schmeagol.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so one of the fan theories that I found is I'll start with my least favorite of the 2/3 that I have. Is that so it's about the Bee movie, Who doesn't love the Bee Movie, right? And so this theory comes from a Reddit. I'll give him cred, or him or her, whoever it is. The Reddit user, credit, Reddit user Nintendude644. This was put on Reddit like 4 years ago, but I still think it's funny. This will especially call to Doctor Who fans. I am not necessarily one of those people, but there you go. So here's the theory. The bees in the Bee Movie are actually Time Lords. I wish I could explain to you what Time Lords are, but I have no idea because I've never seen Doctor Who. But
Dan, what's a Time Lord? Go.
A Time Lord is it's like a humanoid being from the Doctor Who universe, and I don't know how they have mastery of time, but they have incredible regeneration properties. They get 12 or 13 regenerations, and when they regenerate, it's usually at a point when they're about to die, and they come back most of the time looking substantially different. And it comes with changes to their personality too. But sometimes they can regenerate and come back as they looked before.
that was the nerdiest I think Dan has been on this podcast.
Dan's huge on Doctor Who, man. That's his baby.
Well, here's the deal. I will not watch Doctor Who because I am not at all interested, but we can do a Doctor Who episode and I will do some research just for you, Dan.
Cool.
Okay, well, here's some more here's a little more description on the theory. So it's obvious when you think about it. How can an entire society of bees fit into that small hive? They have highways, schools, suburbs, and industries all fitting in 1 cubic foot. It's clear that this hive is bigger in the inside. The other piece of evidence is that the bees just, I guess that the whole hive thing being bigger than it appears on the outside, I guess that like the Time Lords have that same sort of thing, where like
Well, it's like
their
the
housing.
police box that he uses as his time machine when you go in is
right.
like much bigger on
Yeah.
the inside.
So there's
Just a
that.
phone booth.
Next up, the other piece of evidence is that the bees just conveniently know English. It's much more likely that the bees, and then in parentheses, or the time bees, as I refer to them, speak an alien language, which actually reminds me of in the Bee Movie when he first meets the lady and she's like, or when he's like appearing in court and they're like all waiting for the bees to talk, and then he's like, bzz, 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 bzz. And they're all like, what? And he's like, I'm just kidding, Your Honor. Let's proceed. So yeah, so they should speak an alien language, and the hive, their supposed TARDIS, that's from Doctor Who.
TARDIS.
Translates every word that's spoken between the bees and the humans. So that's that part. And then this part is, and let's not forget that according to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Who else, Dan, this is a question for Dan. Who else doesn't care what humans think is impossible?
Definitely Time Lords.
Time Lords.
The Doctor.
So the theory is that the bees from Bee Movie are a bunch of Time Lords, which I think is kind of funny.
I love it. I need that to be true.
I like that theory. That's really cool.
It's actually pretty funny.
Please confirm.
I know, right? It's even funny. See, the cool thing about that theory is I don't care about Doctor Who. I don't know anything about it, but when I read that theory, I was like, that's pretty funny. Like that's a good one.
I think
That
you'd
is good.
like Doctor Who.
I think so.
Isn't
The
there, like-
older episodes, the newer ones are.
See, that's what I was about to say. Isn't there like 50 different versions or something of Doctor Who?
Well, the original running was like back in the black and white day, wasn't it?
It was like in the 60s, and a lot of those got lost.
So what's the
So
new?
there's been like so many.
Well, if somebody,
There's been a lot of people that have played the Doctor over time. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if give me the right ones and where I can watch them, and I'll try and watch them. But
I think up to I really like the first two new Doctors. I don't remember the first guy, but I love David
Christopher
Tennant.
Eccleston. Yeah.
David Tennant. David Tennant's my favorite Doctor, and then you had Smith after Tennant, and I didn't really like him as much. And then it was an old dude.
I thought he was pretty good.
And
Mhm.
then now the
Capaldi.
Doctor's, I think, is a woman. I don't know the actress. I haven't watched it. Yes. So
That's a lot. All right, well,
yeah,
that's my first one. Dan, did you have any more?
That's good. Yes, I too have a crossover theory. This one might be even more ambitious. So, we're all familiar with these two movies, right? Harry Potter. You might have heard of it. It's pretty big. And then the other one, the lead actor in it is super famous, but not for his acting. He's really famous for his
John
shoe
Cleese.
brand.
Michael Jordan.
Space Jam, right?
Space Jam.
Yeah. Mhm. So this is a crossover theory between those two. I just saw it the other day. So, Brian,
Yeah.
do you know the Harry Potter dates? Like, you guys know it was in like the 90s when it happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like 91 when he's
yeah, when
goes
it
to school.
started. So,
Harry Potter is born in
yeah, you know,
1980.
Mhm.
So
1980.
the first
Okay.
book- the first book is 91.
All right. So, Ron joins the Quidditch team as the keeper, right? What book was that?
6,
It was like one of the later
Uh,
ones. 6. Okay.
Did it?
5 or 6.
Yeah, we'll go
Five.
around there.
Okay.
So,
Sixth movie, fifth book.
that was in 1996, if we do that date correctly, right?
Yeah.
And so, Harry Potter, he's like, man, Ron's really struggling. What am I going to do? We know, he gives him the old switcheroo, makes him think that he gave him Felix Felicis, right?
Liquid Luck.
When really
Yep.
he didn't. So he just got his own mojo going up. You know what came out? The post that I saw has this. That game happened around November of 1996. You know what came out in November of 1996?
Dude, I know exactly
Space
where
Jam.
this is going.
You know what Michael Jordan did to help win against the Monsters? He got his secret sauce or secret juice?
Secret juice.
Secrets. Yeah, he got that stuff. Totally faked all the bugs or all the what Looney Tunes.
The
That's
Looney
it. That's what they're.
Tunes.
He faked them out. He tricked them.
Bugs.
This is where Harry Potter's genius truly comes from. He snuck away from school. We know how. He's got the Marauders map. He's got an invisibility cloak. He snuck away from school. He's like, this movie seems pretty good. He went and saw the movie knowing no one at Hogwarts would understand. Like, Hermione would understand, and maybe a few other Muggle-born people would understand, but no one else would. And so he's like, I'm going to steal this idea. I'm going to use it. He stole the idea. He used it. Gryffindor won their first game of that season because of Michael Jordan. And that is how Michael Jordan saved the Wizarding world.
It would have been it would have been
And that's why he's the best basketball player of all time.
it would have been so good if in Harry Potter during that Quidditch match they're like losing, and then Bill Murray comes in. He's like da 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 da.
He's on a broom.
Or Ron's
Like,
arm just goes, whoa.
and then
he
he's like
blocks it.
he's like super tired at the end. He's like, "Let's go Bulls," because he didn't get to join the Quidditch shit. That's so funny. That's probably the best crossover theory in the game right now. That's so funny. Ugh. All right, well, Brian, I know you have more.
I have a crossover one as well.
Hit it.
You ready?
Oh.
It's a crossover of Lord of the Rings and the most classic of Disney classics, and I mean that literally, which is Snow
Star
White.
Wars.
Was
Oh,
that like
yes,
the first
Star
Disney
Wars.
movie?
It wasn't. I don't think it was it was the first animated one. I think Disney put out non-animated stuff.
Right.
Previously.
I think it was like
It
its
is the
first
highest
major
grossing.
picture. Or whatever.
It is the highest grossing movie if you take aggregate and inflation that Disney has ever released.
It's actually one of my least favorite.
So,
It scares me.
the theory is that Snow White is like a sequel story to Lord of the Rings and happened cast the story of Lord of the Rings, and that Snow White is the daughter of Arwen and Aragorn, which is why she can like speak to nature and like communicate with animals like that. And the seven dwarves the seven dwarves are actually emissaries from the seven clans of dwarves that were sent to protect the daughter of the king of Gondor during a time of war, to help with a war against the remaining dark forces after the end of the War of the Ring. So it's kind of
So
bizarre.
does it explain it all? Does it say that? So does Snow White take place in Middle Earth then? Is that the idea?
Yeah. So that's what yeah. I love how in this theory it says we see your eyes rolling. But this one is pretty thorough. So for instance, the seven dwarves interestingly coincide with the seven clans, and many of their names line up one for one with the Norse translations of Tolkien's dwarves. On top of that, this website, or Diploti, I think, is the original source of the theory. Draws connections between geography of the two tales, compares the mirror on the wall to the mirror of Galadriel, the Eye of Sauron, and what is this? Sorry. Then says that the prince is Gandalf, which I think is hilarious.
That's funny.
But it's very interesting. And there's some they also like there's like some echoes of the story of Beren and Luthien, with Aragorn and Arwen that kind of go in. Beren and Luthien is considered his favorite work that he ever wrote was about a guy named She-Elf, and the She-Elf gave up her mortality because she loved him. And actually, on Tolkien and his wife's gravestone, it had like under his name is Beren and her name is like it makes me want to cry. But
Wait, say that again. What makes you want?
so there's a story that Tolkien wrote about a she-elf who gave up her mortality because she fell in love with a man named Beren. And on Tolkien and his wife's gravestones, it has under his name it says Beren, who was the man in that story, and under his wife's name on her gravestone it says Luth, the she-elf that gave up her immortality to be with him.
So,
and it says like the greatest love story ever written or whatever.
Twilight, yeah.
Yeah, Twilight. It also implicates that Disney technically owns a bit of the
Middle Earth.
the Middle Earth of Middle Earth because of
Screw that. I'm sick of Disney owning everything.
So
That's pretty funny though.
crossover. It's
That's
not
a
as good
Star
as
Wars
it's not as good as
universe, they have
Space
Middle-
Jam and Harry Potter, but
Nothing could beat that one, but that one's pretty good.
That is.
Except for the Disney owning a little bit of Tolkien work there. No, never. That's pretty funny. So this is okay. I'm gonna do. So I have one full one, but it's not super in depth. But and then I have like a basis for another one that I read, but I can't find any info on it anywhere online. Like the page that.
I have one little dinky.
Okay. So I'm just yeah. So here's this one though. This is a crossover between Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So the idea, and by the way, this fan theory comes from a podcast called Indiana Jones Minute. I've never listened to them, but if they came up with this theory, that means they're quality. So go and check them out. They didn't ask me to do this. I'm just being nice. So
for a collaboration.
Yeah, right. Collab. All right, so here's the theory. It's pretty funny actually. I like it. It is the idea that Indiana Jones is actually it's merely the product of a fever dream that Han Solo has while he is encased in carbonite. So they give 3 major points of evidence that proves this theory, right? So the first 2 are pretty decent, and then the third one's absolutely the best one. The first one is that this one I need to go back and watch Indiana Jones because this is a cool little thing. They also forget one, but the first one is the first rock that falls in the Peruvian temple at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark is in fact a replica of Snaggletooth from the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars. I'm gonna add one here. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they go down where the Ark is, where Indiana and the Egyptian dude, we got bad dates, that guy, he come down from the Hebrew God. Anyway, so that guy, when they're down there and they're like walking to the Ark, on the wall, right, there's like hieroglyphics or whatever, and you can see R2D2 and C3PO. So there's another little thing that hints at something like that. The second one is the headpiece of the Staff of Ra, used in Raiders of the Lost Ark, is literally a disc-shaped falcon, i.e. a more literal representation of the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo ship in Star Wars. And then the third and final piece of evidence, and this one's deep, guys, so deep it's going to blow your minds. Han Solo is so haunted by the death of Porkins during the Battle of Yavin in the original Star Wars, a product of his guilt, apparently, for abandoning the rebels early on in their quest to blow up the Death Star, before swooping in last minute to help steal a victory, that Porkins, or rather William Hootkins, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the actor who plays him, appears in Raiders of the Lost Ark as Major Eaton. So the crossover is, I mean, really, to me, it's that Indiana Jones is a product of Porkins' death, because Han Solo is just completely feeling immense guilt that Porkins died when he could have saved him. So that's that theory. It's a good one. It's a good crossover. The final.
So that means Legend of the Crystal Skull happened because Han Solo failed Ben Solo, and that much guilt and failure just kind of took over the whole movie.
Yeah, he fell asleep
and that's why it was a failure.
He fell asleep for 30 years. Hey, I actually liked Crystal Skull. I just don't like the very, very end of it. And the whole part, I did see a theory with the refrigerator scene thing. It's like, how the heck could he survive that? And the theory is that, I know there's the whole crossing the seal thing, but when he drank from the Holy Grail in the Last Crusade, even though he crossed the seal, it didn't give him eternal life, but it gave him it increased his body's durability and stuff. And so that's like someone's theory for him surviving that refrigerator thing. Look, I know the flaws in
There's
Crystal
a really
Skull, but I like it.
There's
That's
a really
pretty
funny
good.
reference.
I never thought about that.
There's a really funny reference to that scene in Fallout 4. If you guys have played that franchise at all,
I haven't, but I know what that's about.
You can find a skeleton inside of a fridge that's right next to a crater from a nuclear blast. And instead, I saw it in a movie once. I thought it would work. There's like a note that's it on the body that says that.
That's funny.
And it's funny.
That's
And
good.
You can pick up his skull.
Like how the body wrote that before
you can
he
pick up
died.
that body's skull, I think, and it's been like crystallized, so it says like crystal skull.
That's
when you
funny.
pick it up.
So I'm just gonna say the really short one that I have. Also, it's just I only have the basis. I found it online. I can't even really give credit because, so it was like on a website, and they were like, to check out like from the source who made the theory, go to this website for that, sort of thing. And it's like page not found. So I couldn't find it, and then I searched it and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I only have the basis for this theory. So do with it what you will. But the theory is that Indiana Jones and Darth Vader teamed up, and through some space-time continuum stuff, time travel, team up to kill Hitler. And that's it. Like, that's all I got. I don't even know. I don't know if it was in real life or just like within their movie universe, but it was that. They and like the only two bits of evidence that I saw just from like pictures was that the guy who plays Hitler and then one of the guys who plays, I believe, oh man, I can't remember who he is. I think he plays like that main Nazi general guy in either The Last Crusade or Raiders. I can't remember. But they're both in Star Wars, like the actors are. The guy who plays Hitler in Indiana Jones and the guy who plays this general. They're both in Star Wars as like admirals or generals or something in the Imperial Army. So I don't know, there's something there. And I wish I knew the whole theory because it seemed actually super interesting from the basis that I read, but that's all I got. So have fun with your imaginations, people.
I have one little last one. For those people out there who have seen Fanboys,
Yes.
which is a hilarious Star Wars spoof movie. Not spoof on Star Wars, but it's a comedy about fans of Star Wars. This isn't pardon my French. My favorite derogatory term that they use to address those who enjoy the horrid material that is Star Trek is Kirk loving Spock suckers. It's beautiful and I love it.
Get out of here,
so
you
for all
Kirk-loving Spock sucker.
For all you Spock suckers out there, this is a Star Wars. It's not really a theory as much as it's just like an unconfirmed, probably real thing. The alien race that makes up the Trade Federation are called Nemoidians, which is like supposed to be insulting Leonard Nimoy, like Nemoidians. And they basically made like the most like cowardly and weaselly like alien race in Star Wars after like one of the biggest
shoot them or
actors
something.
Yeah, originally in like pre-edits in the script they were known as Shatnerians, and early versions of the script, and they were changed to Nemoidians. And I really wish they had stuck with Shatnerians, but
How did you
just for all the
How did you get
that's
this?
for all the Spock suckers out there.
How did you get this? Are you kidding me? I'm William Shatner.
I'm William Shatner. I can get anything.
How about Ryan Jerry's panties? Anything. That's from Fanboys. Everybody, go and watch it. That's funny.
Yes, it's Fanboys is a beautiful. We'll probably end up doing an episode on Fanboys at some in our But yeah, that's the last little dinky one.
That's fantastic.
I thought it's probably
That's
the one
beautiful.
that made me the happiest. Is the fact that, and that's in the original trilogy when Lucas was still heavily involved in the production, and for him to allow, just like a jab at Star Trek makes me happy.
Yeah,
makes me happy. So.
Of course. All right, Dan, do you have one more?
No.
Well, on that note,
This was a pretty short episode, but that's okay. We'll call it on that note. But next week we're starting a bigger line of topics that we're gonna throw in here. So it won't be as
good.
random. Yeah, it'll be pretty good. And I'm pretty sure most people in the world love what we're going to talk about. And if you don't,
for the live action movie version of it.
Oh, wow.
that's a massive jab. You'll figure that one out next week.
Why is that a big jab? The
just
live
kidding.
action movie was terrible.
That was one of the greatest films ever made.
Stop.
Okay, it
Yeah,
was
I'm
nothing
just
like the
kidding.
anime.
I'm
They
just
were
kidding.
blue.
No, not that. Dan.
Anyway, again, we are found on Spotify, Podbean, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, just about every platform you can think of for podcasts. We have a Discord. Please join it, and just honestly, don't just join it and then not post anything. Join it and then just post stupid memes anytime you find a stupid nerdy meme, and that's good. and grand, and suggest topics for us. We love it. Do that, yeah. So if you want to join if you want to join the Discord, invite link is in our Instagram bio. Instagram is like the Council of Nerds. Just search that, you'll find it. I don't. Do you guys have anything else?
No, just appreciate you guys' viewership, and we love doing this, and we look forward to keep doing it. So.
Yes, we do. Dan, did you have anything? You're frozen on my screen holding a lighter, so I'm gonna take that as he is gone. So we are going to say we're gonna sign off there. So again, thank you for.
Hopefully you guys are still there. If not,
well, he's clearly gone.
Well, there he is. All right, yeah, we're signing off. But again, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week on here. Bye.
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 The Council of Nerds.